to spot a healthy remote job before you apply. So today, let's talk about how to spot a healthy remote job before you apply. Because every remote job is not profitable. And I say that to mean you want to start with how clear is the job description? What is the job description saying? What is the job description not saying? Okay. We all know those roles that you have. I talked about this before in my other videos, how there are some job descriptions that they're templated, so they come from the recruiter, maybe just putting something together like they have a title, but they don't have the exact job description, or they know what the company is, so they'll make a skeleton job description, let's say. A lot of times they'll move forward with that one, but that's not the true job description or what the real work entails. In a healthy environment, when you have a healthy remote job, you also have a healthy remote job description, meaning the time zone is clear, right? Whether even if it says working remotely in the United States, because we now know post-pandemic, a lot of roles were remote, work anywhere you want in the role. You have digital nomads that are picking up, moving to Mexico, Panama, all of those cities to work, applying for that visa, getting that done. But after the pandemic and like a year or two later, I think maybe 2025, we noticed that companies have now started putting a stipulation on remote, meaning a job can easily say remote only, but then it'll say open to people in Eastern time zones or open to people in Pacific time zones, right? Like people in Cali. A lot of roles, I know for myself, I've received a few remote roles that it was like on Cali time zone. And what I have to tell people is that a lot of times, even if the recruiter is pushing you forward saying your background looks great, this and this and that, they still may have people that you're competing with that already live in Cali or already they live in Seattle, right? So that's also your competition. Because it's also looking like even if the role is remote, they don't want you coming from a background. Like I'm in East Coast, I'm in New York City. So then like for me to work PST, even if I tell the recruiter or tell the client, oh, I like to start my day at 12 o'clock because, that's 12 o'clock would be their 9 a.m., right? But that would be their 9 to 5 would be like a 12 to 8. Even if you tell the recruiter you're okay with starting your day at 12 o'clock, you like to sleep late, have your coffee, move slow, have your omelet, all that good stuff, the client can still say, I want people that are already in California, because if someone like me gets the role, someone from the East Coast, they can also, because their schedule is off balance, even though they say that they're a late person, they're still designed to like get up at 7:30 or maybe get up at 7 a.m. And some people, they're getting up. You have people that they get up at 5 a.m. and they go to the gym. You have like all of this stuff done. And a lot of times when you're applying for the role, you're not really looking at this all the way, even though the recruiter is pushing it. So that's step one. Step two is that salary description or range, meaning if a job is paying, even if it's paying like 50 to 70 an hour, and like that's their range. And sometimes you can have a range, but the recruiter or the client, even though they're saying 50 to 70 an hour, they may still want to target resumes that's in that $50 an hour range, because sometimes based on how the job description, the portal is set up, if it's LinkedIn, if it's Indeed, if they're sending you to workday, or maybe Greenhouse, sometimes there's a box that says, what is your preferred salary? And that could be for your hourly rate, for temporary, or your perm salary. Now, they can also have a salary that says salary 120 to maybe 150, right? But again, there's that internal rate going on, meaning for a great candidate, they're okay paying the 150. That means like that's their A candidate, their A choice. They can pay that candidate 150. They don't mind going to the top of the budget. Everyone else, they want to stay in that 120 to that 130 range, which is fine. So you want to be clear when you put your salary and when you fill out your salary requirements, you always want to fill out a range because a range gives you room to negotiate. You want to stay away from roles that make, sometimes it's just a limited budget. Like say if it says $50 an hour and it is what it is, remote, and you're like, whatever, I'm just going to use this. I need to stack some money. I got to pay a bill, this and this and that. That's fine as well. So again, this is about healthy remote roles. The third thing is that the job description is clear, meaning you know exactly what line of business you're going to support, meaning this is a new role or this is a backfill for a new lane opened up in marketing, or this is a social media role. We need somebody to come in and help with all of our social media campaigns. Like that part is clear. You're not guessing. You're not doing guesswork. You're not, going back and forth with the recruiter and saying, well, what about this? Well, this is missing. This is missing. You're not, you as a candidate can easily look at a job description and know like, okay, something sounds off. Or there's like, it says open to remote, but then in the little thing, you have to look with a magnifying glass and it'll say, preferably people that's already on the West Coast. Something that the recruiter is not telling you. So that's your job to make sure that you're reading that stuff and you're also paying attention to the details, especially depending on the road you're going from. You also can see things like, again, the job description is like, it's not descriptive. Like it says anything from preferably East Coast, but the client is West Coast. You know what I'm saying? You also want to find out, again, in your job description, and part of it, you want to find out where exactly is the hiring team working at. Meaning, even if you're in the East Coast, like myself, I'm in New York City, and say I apply for roles that the role is remote, but like that whole hiring team or like my daily creative team, my design team, my strategy team, where my work comes from, PST hours, that makes a difference, right? Because and that means that not only do they want people from that time zone, your business requests, like the way you're getting, whether the emails are coming in, the requests are coming in via emails or through a portal, your requests are coming in at different times. You want to know so that you're able to funnel what's coming into you. Just like if it's remote, but if the client is East Coast hours, you can still wake up, like, if you're East Coast, 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, you can still wake up and you might get requests at 8:30 in the morning. You normally, like I do, I just flag the request and keep it there until I'm ready to like kind of log on. But even so, because you're East Coast, they're sending you stuff in the East Coast hours. You do have people that maybe they are in Cali or whatever and they work later, but that request is not due yet. So you still have a little time. This has nothing to do with when they're sending you the request. It's more like when you're receiving it and when you're expected to answer. The fifth thing is it has conflicting information. Like it says new role, new department, but then it says restructuring. You know what I mean? It's like, are you restructuring or is this a new role? Because that means two different things. Restructuring is like we're still trying to figure out where everyone is going. We've had some layoffs and now we're bringing in new people. Sometimes it's freelance people to kind of work those roles and see what's going on. And then we're kind of figuring it out, or we're figuring it out as we go along, which is fine. If you're coming in as a freelancer or as a contractor, 1099 or whatever, that's okay because freelance means that you're available to kind of flow with things. You know what I mean? Go with the flow, make yourself available, be helpful where you're needed because again, this opens up other doors for you. You may be asked to go help out in marketing. You may be asked to go help out in the social campaign. Somebody may be sick and you may be asked to go help out on the print team or help out with the out of home stuff. So that's okay. That's still perfectly normal. Now, so if it's a permanent role, you want to make sure that you have more description than less, right? You want to know exactly the team that you're supporting, what team you're on, where the work is coming from, the business unit. Now, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. When you read a proper job description, rate, title, salary, all of that would be there. All of that would be there. Then it goes into what the company is. We're a digital marketing company, and we help companies with this and this and that. We work as an agency, or you hand off to us. We're hired as an outsourced agency. So we have in-house clients, but we also have clients that we're an extension of. You want that to be in the job description as well, so that way you know. But like I said, if it's saying conflicting things, anything that feels like any spin, I woke up this morning and I spoke to God and I was like, you know what? I'm just tired of the spin. Because it's like when I do the laundry, you know what I mean? And it's like you put your clothes in the wash, you put your detergent, you put everything in there. And there's like a cycle that it's like, it's the spin cycle. And like that thing is just going round and round and round. It's like the hamster wheel. And it's like, I'm tired of the spin. So that's what prompted me also that I wanted to add this to this video as well. Because it's like I get the idea and then he'll give me more downloads so I put in the video. So yeah, it's like the spin. Like you're reading the job description, it doesn't seem clear, it doesn't seem concise, words are missing, things are spelled wrong. And it's like a lot of times recruiters don't understand is that as a candidate, you've also came across when the job descriptions were not, there was typos in the job description or conflicting language, and the recruiter's like, oh, just ask the hiring manager. But like, if it's a role and it's saying remote only, but then they only want people that's PSC, but then they're saying like, but clients are EST, how does that make sense? So that's the stuff that you want to ask the recruiter. That's stuff that you want to ask the hiring manager. Because like I talk about in my other video with your star interview format is that you want to match your star interview answers to the job description and your resume experience, right? You don't want to add experience that you don't have. You want it to be relatable because then you can speak to it. So you want to pull it from how your experience matches up with the job description, put it together, and that is your star interview. So that's where you're going to be getting it from. Like a role could say, we're looking for a person that's solution oriented. Any thriving business, they want people that are solutions oriented. You don't want people that coming in and they're complaining. You know those people that they are calling, they complain and they stay. Every year they complain about the job. Every year they're saying at the job. Every year you're asking them, are you interviewing yet? No, all they're doing is complaining. It's like after a certain amount of time, if it's not working for you, it's time to exit stage left. So again, staying on point, this is about what a healthy job description looks like before you apply. Making sure like those 3 things are there. And if it's not there, if a recruiter does email you for an interview request, that's your time with that hiring manager to say, hey, can you give me a ballpark salary? Because a lot of times what happens is that they'll have a salary in mind, but then they'll see like what your salary is, and sometimes they'll try to lowball you. Like there's a whole movement, like the girl Hannah, who I love her, who's salary transparency. Like that's where all of that stems from as well. I know in New York, we have salary transparency, but a lot of places still don't have it. I know California does, but even New York, we have salary transparency. I still get roles sent to me, remote hybrid roles sent to me with no salary listed. And I have to keep telling them. So yeah, sometimes that's what you have to keep doing. But again, keeping this focus, this is about what a healthy remote role looks like. Because healthy remote roles usually turn into healthy remote offers, right? If you can count on that stuff being aligned, like the team sounds aligned, the job description seems well put together, I'm really clear, it's going to help you on your interview. It's going to help you with your star answers, and it's going to help you lead the offer. It's also going to help you with your thank you letter, because your thank you letter is you're basically closing the deal. You're closing the gap in what they said, what you can provide, what you bring to the table, and how this can make a beautiful baby. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm also going to add my other video to the end of this, which is when remote is a carrot. That's more about like the cons of remote. I wanted to do the pros of like a healthy one, because we could talk about the cons all day. And my channel is a solutions-based channel, career strategy, fashion, lifestyle, all of that good stuff. I have a fashion blog. If you guys don't know, it's under all of my socials are linked there. Like and subscribe, and also put in the comments if you want to, if you have a remote role that's coming up, what makes it exciting, what are you excited about, what's missing, what's the first question you're going to ask the hiring manager. Feel free to add all of that to this video. And I hope this helped you as well. It helped me. It's something that I know about and I always wanted to kind of put out there. Like I said, I started this channel as something fun to do. I wanted a place to like kind of go to, and just I always wanted to do YouTube and all of that good stuff.